as far as the Yamaha camp is concerned. And the one scary thing about this place is that every major manufacturers are here at trackside. If you think you're under pressure at the Japanese Grand Prix,
the garages are all full of very important looking people.
Do you know what? I made a note last year. His second birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Today, because you wished him well last year. I remember that particularly. Joe Rabat should have been starting from the pit lane because he used all his 7 engines in. But getting back to Tito before we run out of time. So he basically, his penalty was to start from pit lane. But he's decided that his right hand hurts too much after he clouted it, so he's not going to use it. He's not going to go, and he sure has. I'm still trying to work it out though. I've looked through that rule book twice and still can't get to it. Pole position then, points for the best qualifying positions, unsurprisingly. The 2 Sepang International Circuit bikes are alongside. 71.59 miles. The Moto Grand Prix of Japan is go. Of the Honda, as we might expect, looks really good from Marc Marquez. And the 2 Yamahas, second place. Quartararo sits in second place. Jack Miller from the second row looks good. Cal Crutchlow comes through the former Cal Crutchlow. Now, can he hang on in there, I wonder? Maverick Vinales looks at the inside of Morbidelli, doesn't get it out of sorts on the warm-up lap. I don't know about anything else, Maverick Vinales. So that full tank of fuel has got him back right. Quartararo goes through. Somebody said to me some years ago, this is not a Yamaha track. Quartararo's teammates about to come through on Crutchlow. Crutchlow just had him up the inside of 21. Crutchlow. Oh, Jack Miller, there was a cigarette paper between the 2 of them. Jack Miller had to get out the throttle, and look what that's done to him. Back to 4th. Quartararo in the end settles in 2nd place. Jack Miller in 3rd place. Just about gets underneath Morbidelli. Morbidelli rubs him, rubbing his race week. Really looking good.
The whole paddock know Marquez has got some speed and he's going to try and check out, and otherwise this race will be over in 3 laps.
Ghosting his way up is the 0-4 of Dovizioso. Dovi's making his move then to the seat a little bit there. Big twitch from the 43 bike. It's the 0-4 of Dovizioso behind him, so Jack Miller is the fastest Ducati at the... It is still Cal Crutchlow that's hanging in 6th place. Is he just? Yes, he... Now then, power of Ducati. It used to be a big advantage around this racetrack. It hasn't been 17. Last year, Marc Marquez won from Cal and Alex Rins. What's it going to be as well with Morbidelli? Actually praising his teammate for upping everyone else's game. You don't hear that from a professional man.
Marquez has got the speed, but so has Fabio. What's happening, I think, is Fabio's trying too hard now. The problem is...
What we saw in Thailand was that Marc Marquez, on paper, had 0.3 of a second per lap. Here, the same kind of advantage Marquez has on paper when we've looked through free practice and qualifying, despite the fact Quartararo was able to negate that. Will he be able to get near him this week? I don't think so, judging by this. Jack Miller dive bombs Morbidelli, as is Marquez on him.
What? This is tight.
Oh, that was tight. You say tight, had me out the seat. See, and that'll be like... putting flame to the feet of Jack Miller. You know Jack Miller's going to come straight back at him.
You've kicked out, so it wasn't Miller's fault. The bike sort of naturally backed in towards him. It was just a racing incident.
Keeping pace.
Miller lost the front into there then. That was big.
Jack is looking into 3rd place. Morbidelli 4th now. We're looking back at Morbidelli.
Well, the good news, slightly defensive, carry the corner speed, which is basically his strong point, and try and work on that lead. In fact, across the line though.
What a surprise it is though to not see the Ducatis just breeze past on that straight. I've got to say that's, you know, we were so pretty much pull yourself alongside a Honda in the past, but he can't even get alongside the Yamaha at the moment. Oh, here he goes on the straight then.
Ever so slightly lost, I think. I think they've got that many wings on that thing.
Holding them back like a brick.
That's what we're seeing. So you've ended up with all the power, but the bike doesn't turn too well. So you've ended up where you've gained nothing. You've no real, after the Valencia race, Ducati are bringing out an all-new bike.
Can't wait. This one looks like a spaceship. 5.9, 1:45.8 for Quartararo, so he's settled down. You talked about it. It's about fast, sticks it straight under Quartararo. Oh, yeah. It's almost like he didn't see him.
No, he didn't.
It's just that, okay, he was a 10th quicker last time around. Let's see if he can manage that. He's got plenty of laps to do it if he does have that pace. Tyre choice has been a major thing. It's evenly split, really, rear tyre-wise, between soft and mediums.
Yeah.
Technical gap.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Quartararo's gone for the softer rear. So
and the Ducatis have as well. And whilst the temperature is up, it's the hottest this track's been all weekend so far. They haven't really had a run at it, have they?
No. It was up at 1.2 2 laps ago.
Unbelievable. This young man is doing it on your own when you're out there, but in qualifying or in free practice, but every lap that Quattararo...
And my money's been on Quattararo, and I've got off. He just seems different this weekend, like he's gained even desperately wants to break Marquez and get that first win.
Hey,
he's going to throw everything he's got at it.
My thoughts are, being smaller from the man behind, you start having the pressure, you start having to up the game. Marc Marquez will suddenly be under pressure. He'll look at that every single lap. He'll look at his own dashboard, he'll know he's doing the times he...
It's a new thing for Marquez. He's always been the wonder kid, the superstar. He's the guy who applies the whistle, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this man handles it.
Well, the man in front finally checked the garage full of them. He's won them every year, I think, for the best point. Personnel everywhere here, they want to see a Honda win, so that'll add the pressure to Marquez as well. Jim Redmond's here, you're free, he's at trackside as well, so all of this ramps up pressure on riders when they're doing all that kind of...
He responded well on that next lap. I think he saw that the time had come down on his pit board and he threw everything at it.
45.7 Marquez did, fastest lap of the race last time. Fastest lap, I suppose, if you look where poor Jorge is at the moment, still struggling. He's just put his personal best and Carol Abraham on an old Ducati. Wow, Jorge Lorenzo, we're all still willing him. Someone's out the front like his teammate is at the moment. It's difficult to point the finger anywhere except at the rider. It's an absolute nightmare. Out of the best riders, they need to find the right kind of form on the while. He did in the end. Whether he will be able to do that on the Honda doesn't make you feel confident.
No, I think
it'll be tricky.
You've hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly what we're seeing there. I think if this was 5 years ago and Lorenzo was all for him to climb out of it.
That's the point.
And I certainly feel like that if he stays on the Honda, he's not going to climb out of it. I thought previously in other commentary, that relationship has to come to an end at the end of this season. For both.
Across the line last time around. Miller still third, Morbidelli fourth, Dovizioso fifth, Vignale, Paul Espargaro on the KTM is 11th, Valentino Rossi 12th, Mika Kallio.
I'm seeing it, it is, and we've mentioned this before, but it's a changing of the guard. You've got Valentino Rossi, now he's Vignales. You've got, obviously, Lorenzo not faring as well, and then you've got the young guns up here who's having a great battle with his teammate down there in 9th.
Well, Morbidelli's 24, the man on another behind him, Maverick Viñales, is 24, those two, but it's still significant for me, the independent two factory bikes.
Incredible.
Something's not right.
Incredible.
And in front of the factory here, there's more World Championship riders and top brass from factories here than I've ever seen. 46.1 for Marquez, 46.0 for Quattararo. Jack Miller.
You missed it when he lost the front, Keith, into turn 8, was it? Honestly, it was on lock. But what I
mean about proper MotoGP racer, he's able to work out what's gone wrong and right it.
Yeah.
He must be. We talked about Rossi a moment ago. Dovizioso was on for a World Championship a couple of years, and last year completely negative.
Well, the problem is it's that inconsistency. He's still second in the championship, but he's he's second one weekend and then in 7th the weekend after.
Second place here in 2016, winner in
Quattararo. One lap Marquez will be faster, the next lap Quattararo. They're the two different lines. That's the
non-turning Ducati versus the turning Yamaha.
Exactly, and when your bike doesn't turn, what you do, you try and...
Yanone's gone down, and that's the Aprilia out. That's the bottom of the hill at gravel there. You really...
It has to be, because there's not actually enough runoff, to be totally honest. There's not that extra deep gravel in there.
Kato-san giving us the pictures. Getting cameras on anybody now. Must be rising surely above the 130 mark that we've seen.
Me and Colin have had a discussion about it, and we're convinced
his heart rate will have just gone up a little bit more, maybe, just getting dirt in his face. I'm talking about from Dobby's rear wheel into the face of Put his heart rate on without him signing his life away. So
the world has gone mad.
Yeah. Well, he's fine with it.
But no, it's obviously
that says the laws nowadays around Europe are incredibly late.
But again, look how the bike just doesn't turn.
And the Yamaha turns straight underneath him, but he'll squirt that. He's going to be the wrong side of things, I think, coming down to here, because Maverick's looking at the inside again. Doesn't do it well.
That is all back to that. He doesn't turn, so he has to try and make his lap time in the braking zone.
The only thing they can really change to make that turn, to make that work, is it's got to change the engine. It's got to be a different engine. It's got to be, hasn't changed. It's been the motor. It's its own characteristics, and that makes a change.
They've tried everything.
That is Morbidelli. Jack Miller then also suffering from Ducati-itis, and Morbidelli, Miller, Dovizioso now. So the two Sepang International Circuit bikes are second and third every year. It's going to be so much worse this year when they've got their bikes John McPhee, of course, a winner for the Sepang International. It's available for Sepang, so don't bother.
Watch it on BT Sport.
That's the way. Grand Prix of the year goes Dobby. Dobby up the inside of Jack Miller. Tell you what, he has got some braking performance to get under Jack Miller. That is.
You can't believe how late he can brake. Dobby's just got a real unique technique that when he gets into the braking zone, as the back wheel tries to pivot round the front.
Tyres. At the end of the day, those mediums that Marc Marquez has put on, a little bit different, but Marquez has gone with the competitive edge. It's rare we see him running mediums.
Sorts of laps.
Well, we saw him in warm-up this morning. Marquez did a whole raft of 46 middle, actually the entire race. And according to our data from this morning in warm-up, he should be able to do the... But he keeps... The pressure is still there. Quartararo is still applying it full time. There it is. Plus 3.7. Back to Fabio. And Quartararo.
And like I say, Keith, that last sector he gained so much time. It's that downhill braking with turning ability of the Yamaha. The problem is when you get to a downhill braking zone like that, where all that weight's on the front.
Quartararo, everyone else, all the other Yamahas have tried stiffer springs, but of course that means it doesn't turn quite as positively. Talk to you about the way that Cal's trying to handle it. I mean, you see it all the time. It's not like chatter. It is like the motorbike. But the Suzuki in the final 3 corners, we watched it yesterday. The Suzuki turns like it's on rails. The Honda right behind it is 1.5 yards, 2 yards offline. Type thing within the chassis, within the setup, within the engine.
Yeah, when what you could see also, the fight is starting to mark up.
Wonder what this one's doing. I haven't had a good look at Marc Marquez's either. It starts to grain up a little bit.
It's not too bad.
I think maybe it was just because he powered it out of the corner, because he's got this in the bag barring a mistake. He's just taking a 10th or 2 every lap. I mean, 46 is very impressive. Start line time then. 24 laps in Prost this week either. They weren't too shabby there. But again, liberty taker. Straight under.
And that enabled Miller just to weasel up the inside.
Good phrase.
And if anyone's a weasel,
there's Miller just hugging that white line, and Cal Crutchloh's in the mix as well. Maverick Vinales too. And 14 victory corner.
Lord, what a great shot of these MotoGP bikes spinning it up on the egg.
Particularly the other night trying to bolt the right motor in.
I've got to do a shout out for Sylvain Guintoli, who was second in one of the free practice sessions. And I thought, fair play. I think he's 37 years old, is Sylvain Guintoli, on a Suzuki. If you finish in a... Yeah, look at the gap now. Yeah, you're right. It's the elastic band has snapped, hasn't it? It's stretching.
I mean, Quartararo at this point, and that's the thing about Quartararo. He may only be 20, but he's intelligent 20, and he'll be thinking to himself, "I'll do here."
And he's a clever lad, like you say. And I'm not saying what Keith's saying there is he's not going to give up. And it's all about turning at Phillip Island.
And you can bet it. Twin ring Motegi. My mouth's getting tired. That's a change. Twin ring Motegi.
It's about time.
It'll be humid. Mind you, it was 80 degrees humidity here this morning. Now then, Maverick Vinales, Morbidelli, Franco Morbidelli doing a good job here. But Franco Morbidelli in 3rd place, a podium. You know that the two pace this weekend, but he's going to have to work hard to beat the Vizioso, who uses that Ducati where it's great. On Excel. Marc Marquez still leads from Fabio Quartararo, from Fabio Morbidelli, Franco Morbidelli. Over the line, we've got 10 laps to go. Long way back to Morbidelli. And
yeah, it just makes a big V of it, doesn't it? Because he can't carry that corner speed in the middle, so he tries to, like I said earlier, gain a bit of straight.
Still Cal Crutchlow in 8th place now. Rins has gone in front of Cal Crutchlow. Crutchlow slipped to Agro on the KTM, has gone behind him. Then it's Pecco Bagnaia in 13th, Miguel Oliveira 14th. Alessia Kallio has now slipped out outside of the top 15. Taka Nakagami bravely continues. He gets for a month. He'll be immobilised. That arm will be immobilised for a month.
Keith, I've had the operation twice. Move it. And as you can imagine, after a month when you go and see, you go back into hospital to take the bandages off and the strapping, you can imagine what you say. Can you imagine what Nakagami is going through right now? So I've watched him drop down, like you say.
These braking areas, it's just going to wreck his shoulder. But anyway, he's going off to the hospital to have that operation done after this one. Zarco, we look forward to the Frenchman back on a MotoGP bike. Marc Marquez is, Maverick Vinales is a bit too keen. So Maverick passes him on the cutback. Well, that tucked into it. That's real maturity to not follow the man in front of you.
Well, there's one thing we've learnt about Maverick Vinales, better than everybody's. And that's including Marc Marquez.
Once the fuel load goes down, he seems to get to it. Well, we've picked it. in the braking area. What he was absolutely pin sharp correct, because Morbidelli couldn't get it stopped. His tyre maybe, because he's looking now. Oh, you only said that. Maverick's on the soft rear as well, isn't he? Front soft rear for Maverick Viñales. This guy's got mediums, front and rear. In half a second now, the gap per lap from Marquez to Quartararo.
To look at his bike compared to Cal's, this is the images we saw of Cal's bouncing and hopping across the track.
I don't think we can see this properly in slow-mo though. I think I'd rather see it more like real time, but
whatever Marquez does, whatever he's, you know, with setting or well,
I mean, Cal's got
whole paddock. That's the #1 question people have been asking for 7 years.
Cal has looked at the data. Cal sees what he does. Close to aggressive on a motorbike, like Marc Marquez. He's quite similar in the way that he rides a bike, or as similar as you can. Smooth, almost 250cc style of racing, which is the bit that worries me about Johann Zarco coming to rival of Jorge Lorenzo, and in my opinion, Johann Zarco.
Yeah, you feel like Zarco in Phillip Island, like a confidence zapping front ender, and there's not a worse track to go to. You've got to Phillip Island and give you the feedback, so you've got basically an understanding of what the motorcycle's doing.
Neil, if he'd had a week's testing beforehand...
Prediction, where do you think he'll finish in FP1?
I've got to say... Last time around, we've got 6 and a bit laps left to go. 2.6 now, Marquez back to Quartararo. Viñales wants to put another Yamaha up on the podium. Got to say,
the only problem for Viñales is that last section, the last sector down. So you've got the
another Yamaha and Assen when
yeah, that was who was that?
Valentino.
Oh yeah,
it was Lorenzo.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I've slept since then. I've recovered from that one, but that's another story.
Overtaking hotspot. It sure is, coming down into 11.
Down, but like you say, it's enough.
He needs to make the pass early in the lap and just make that. Way out front, Marquez. 2.6 it was last Ferraro. 46.7 for the man who's controlling this race, Marc Marquez. Maybe a little Maverick again. Now then, hop, skip, jump. Even Dobby's get the exit speed if he can. Down through the seamless gear, but he's got to make the pass. So Dobby then, just enough of a gap at the moment, but mid-corner is where the Yamaha is. And just get that gap on Dobby. If Dovizioso is there on the last lap down into turn 11, you can be sure he's to go. Marquez, Quartararo, they're away at the front. This is the battle for third place. All lifted, squirts past the other pit lane that is here at Motegi. Over the hill, and then it all drops. Trying to get it all stopped and turned in, still dropping away. Now we start to rise uphill under the IndyCar circuit. Through 13, onto 14 now. Victory corner, and then the blast to the line. If Maverick's in there, because the braking point is right on the line, and quite often these riders miss out on turn 1.
Tell you what, these two are circulating faster than the leaders. They're about
proper fight.
Exactly, they're 0.6 to Fabio. I don't think they're going to catch him, by the way, but it's 4.5 laps to go now.
I've been walking down to 7th place. Joan Mir has got in front of Miller now. Miller has sunk to 9. Whoa! In a minute, Maverick's going to send one straight up the inside. It's coming, it's building. Is it here? No.
Is he going to wait to the last lap to keep that information for himself? Because
well, we've seen what Dobby's like react. He just blasts away, and the Yamaha hasn't really got any answer into this braking. That is not really a braking opportunity for the a passing opportunity for the Yamaha.
It's around turn 12, 13.
Cool, that would be something. Well, Dobby came out on top. There is Marquez, there is Quartararo, and that battle for third place you can see behind them. He's a 46.3 Dobby did last time around. They are closing them down at the front. Not sure there's enough time. 20 of 24. Yeah, that's all very interesting, but I'd rather see how it plays. Wow, that's a disastrous weekend for Valentino. Here's Maverick Viñales, his team. So much easier to manage. Now then, Maverick Viñales. He's not going to do it round the outside.
But then Dobby, it's stable on the brakes, and then he presses the turbo button when he gets on the straights.
Pretty much like out the Suzuki Motor Company president, Toshihiro Suzuki, appropriately. Slow in front of Rins. He's got work. Cal Crutch though, chuck him a bone and he'll chew through a mood. Now, looking back to that third place. Here's Quartararo, second place. Ball with the second place. That gap between Marquez and Quartararo, but it's down to what? 2.2 seconds. Those gearboxes.
Beautiful,
Don't you just
aren't they?
love them?
He'll be pleased with this though, Fabio.
Oh, and that's Suzuki. Cal Crutchloh's got an animal under him. Rins has got a little beauty. Tightish. It's one of them ones where you've got to let Cal know you're there.
Take a bit of this. That's my shoulder on your fairing.
Mir is the man on 36. So Danilo Petrucci now 9th. Miller drops to 10th. Back with Quartararo. Wow. Dobby surely can't close this down. Surely not. 0.3 still, it stays stable. 1.4 now. Back to Dovizioso. He's taken 6/10 out of that. But Dovizioso, Dobby's doing it again.
Can you believe it?
He's sneaking his way up. He did it, what, in Misano, was it? Benedetto's determination. This man is the quiet man of determination.
Incredible. Yeah, it was back in Aragon, wasn't he? Was Kendon worked his way.
That was it,
yeah.
Aragon.
And he's just set his fastest lap for the race.
Wow, that is impressive. Incredible. Oh, that's been a nice little point out from Colin Edwards here on the screen. He's got a meat. It really is. Marc Marquez goes through. So does. Letting second place down. There's the gap.
He has to keep it clean as Quartararo.
When you see your board, one moment tensing yourself up because you know you're being chased. This is going to be down to proper race for the line. We've seen it before here in Motegi, and Dobby's been involved in it before here at Motegi. Onto the back straight we go. Over the line then, last lap time. Last lap. Surely not. It's a 0.8 of a second gap now. If he can take that much out of it, I just can't.
What's interesting is Mark's really backed off at the front as well, and they've really closed in on him as well. Look.
His first pole ever here at Motegi, Marc Marquez, but he's going to surely take the win. He's finally filling out his current racetracks that we're on, finally ticking the Butol Grand Prix of Japan. Is going to go to the wire, but I think it's going to finish as is. Dovizioso closing it down every single corner now, every braking point.
Too late.
Last couple of corners we've got coming up then. Marc Marquez will win here for sure. Dovizioso has turned 13 and on to victory corner to take victory here at the Twin Ring Motegi. Second place from Andrea Dovizioso. Maverick Viñales comes across the line in 4th place. It's to get by. What a finishing lap from Crutchlow. He pinches it from Morbidelli. Morbidelli to Jack Miller. Cal Crutchlow, man of the meeting for determination. That bike didn't look like a boy. Cal Crutchlow, 5th place from nowhere. So Fabio Quartararo, but that is now confirmed with 3 races still to go.
But that was the #1 goal at the start of the year. Yeah,
Franco Morbidelli was the man that we thought was going to do the business in the Sepang International Circuit. Quartararo walks in.
And Mir on the Suzuki.
So Quartararo will be independent teams in Parc Ferme as well, of course. Got to remember that Quartararo is on an independent team bike, Maverick Viñales on a factory bike, and Valentino Rossi 11th place.
Yeah, 11th place.
I can't hardly say it.
No, I don't know what's happening there. It is literally
It's gone worse for him. So top brass at Honda. There you go. Doesn't get much bigger than that. Takahiro Hachiko. It's going to be tricky for him to get that started again once they've got a bit of heat soaking when it comes to fuel. So the Constructors' Championship as well is won by Honda because we're more than 75 leading this, and now Honda have just won it. The Constructors' Championship on Honda's home territory by Honda's, and of course Kinomitsu Takahashi.
Oh, here we go. This is the last lap.
Late the finish line. Wow, Morbidelli's going to be sick about that.
Just a little bit of movement for Morbidelli.
Sigafelt on the left-hand side, Razlan Razali on the right-hand side, and in the middle, Zeelenberg. Yeah, they can hardly believe that. Disappointment. Yamaha podium in 4 years. Fabio Quartararo, first Yamaha on a podium in 4 years.
Fabio's laughing at.
While the Yamaha man celebrates. Wow. Got weather conditions as they've been. Humidity's been high. A lot of rough point of view. There's the boys going for it, boys and girls, I should say, going for it. All the way around the track.